And thank you to all the reps who came. Thank you for coming and supporting your co-ops. We're really excited to have you here. And I'd like to introduce Adam Trott, who is the staff developer for Valley Alliance of Worker Co-ops. He's a UMass alum, and he's going to tell us about cooperatives.
This is great. Hi, everybody. Hi. So thanks to Emma and thanks to John for teaching about what I think is one of the more relevant economic things you can be learning about. So late in 2011, the United Nations declared 2012 the year of the co-op. During economic decline in Western economic models, they did not choose nonprofits, they didn't choose traditional ownership, they didn't choose volunteerism. They chose an economic model about co-ops, or members running. This is relevant to us in many ways. I'm just going to show you a couple. Globally, there's 1 billion members of co-ops. This is going to mean different things, but let me just show you some of these numbers. Because they're so vast, I think it's easy for us to take for granted what co-ops do. It's easy to sometimes say, oh yeah, well, credit unions are just kind of like a bank, except that you actually can direct it when you show up to a meeting. In Massachusetts, we've got a few as well, although really we're just kind of keeping even. Where did all this come from? So there's 1 billion members of some economic model that the United Nations think is great. Why did this start? What are the contexts? Well, throughout the world, there were a couple of different people talking about what it would look like to have an economic model, a way to make a living and to buy things that you need for your living in a way that's democratic, that's living within your values, that you can direct, and that's something you can benefit from. In 1844, things like globalization, increasing wealth gaps between ownership and those who work, people having to move out of the country to go to factory jobs in cities, were on the dockets. These are what were in papers. Does that sound familiar? So in the 1840s in England, this group is often cited as bringing up the real fundamentals for what we consider what a co-op is today. Some of the visions I think are important are they wanted an inter-cooperative economy. So sometimes, how many people have been a part of a food co-op or their parents? Okay, so that's pretty good. So that's really the dominant model that we know about, and it's an excellent one. But there are others. Here's the identity that they laid out. They said, this is an autonomous organization. It's voluntary. You have to want to be in it. And you jointly and democratically own and control it. Depending on what you look like, who you like to spend your time with, what your religion is, does not matter as far as your voice. Nor does it matter how much money you have at the beginning. It's called power, value, share, membership. These are pretty important things when you're trying to run a business together and you come up with difficulties in between. So here are the principles. Again, 170 years ago now, or whatever that is, people talking about these things right now might seem familiar. Okay, voluntary and open membership. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Autonomy and independence. Okay, that's kind of interesting. These are really the sort of directions that we get, like a compass and a co-op, to talk about how you want to direct this entity to benefit yourself and your community. Again, the values are the same thing. So there's things like solidarity, there's things like concern for community, there's things like caring for others. Right now we see this a lot in social responsibility initiatives and social investments and even a lot of nonprofits. In 1844, there was only one group talking about it. And for the next 100 years, there was really only one group talking about it. And that was the co-op.
Thank you to our wonderful panel and all of the co-ops and the student businesses that came here today. And thank you, of course, to all of you for coming. One more shout out to the New Growth String Band back there. And feel free to hang out, ask questions, get some food, listen to music, do the survey, and get some buttons on your way out. Go Co-ops!